Hello and welcome to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Perrine, the Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you by the Indiana State Police Indiana State Police Alliance and Counts for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information, visit www.indianasfinest.com. Thanks to our great friend Eddie Garrison, who comes in early for his normal shift to record the show and get it on the radio. Network Indiana, they put us on the radio across the great state at different times throughout the week, but it's really cool that they're willing to do that for us. So
they make you sound live at 4:30 in the morning?
Sometimes people think we're live, but it may surprise some folks to know that we do record these shows ahead of time. So again, also thanks to Tom Trial for getting us on YouTube. If you've never checked out the Indiana State Police YouTube channel, there's a lot of content, not just the road shows, but a lot of cool stuff. And so thank you to Tom for all his hard work to do that. And our guest today, a familiar face, Captain Ron Galavez, Chief PIO for the State Police. Captain.
John, how are you?
I'm fantastic. It's summertime.
It is. Hey, so let me, before we start,
all right.
I was thinking about this during one of the last recordings. Somebody had a big anniversary here the other day, didn't he?
It was a big day. 20
years. Congratulations.
You know what's funny, and I know you remember this, and you're a little ahead of me, is where did 20 years go?
No, it goes.
I don't feel like a 20-year trooper. Like, I remember what the 20-year troopers looked like when I came on, and they were the old guys. They were like old guy. I'm not old,
right? And even farther back, the troopers had retired at 20 years, many years ago. Yeah. So congratulations!
Well, thank you.
Your dedication to your craft, not only as a trooper but as a PIO and as a radio host, doesn't go unnoticed by the general public and those of our colleagues. Just want to
thank you for that. It is really cool, and it's certainly an honor to still be able to do this. Yeah. I mean, it's been my passion since I was young. I wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be an Indiana State trooper specifically, and certainly thankful that it worked out for me.
Well, good for you. Happy to have you.
Yeah. So here we are. It's July. We love the summertime. Mm-hmm. With summertime comes some safety thinkings. Yeah. July 1st brings new laws that we want to talk about. Right. 4th of July right around the corner, and one of my favorite days of the year. I live in a small community. We all come together. We have a parade. We have an event out at the park. It's just so much fun. Yeah. We also going to be thinking safety. So let's dig into some of that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start here with a new law, because I think it's important for folks to understand there is a new law into effect, and it has to do with our move over law.
Right. So it's actually not a new law. It's just an addition to an existing law, which has been in effect for probably the better part of 20 years. I don't know the exact length of time, but it's been significant. Which actually started out as moving over for emergency vehicles conducting business on the side of the highway, byway, whatever, which says you're required to move over if you can. If not, you're required to reduce your speed by at least 10 miles per hour. Then here a few years ago, the legislature added utility vehicles to that mix. State highway, of course, tow trucks could still fall under emergency vehicles. Garbage disposal, pretty much any type of vehicle with a flashing light. Same thing, move over or slow down to 10 miles an hour. Now the new addition to that is going to be any broken down vehicle on the side of the road, which we see probably far more than we see the others.
Sure.
Especially on the interstate system here in the greater metropolitan area. So keep in mind, I think it's always in my mind anyways, if I see them when I'm not working, I always move over.
Yeah,
I give those folks plenty, because I've been out on the fog line changing a flat tire.
It's horrible.
And it is awful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So again, give those folks room to do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, and it's a courtesy thing. It's kind of unfortunate that we've got to put a law into place to protect these folks, but it's kind of twofold, because oftentimes I come upon these people on the side of the road that are oblivious to the dangers that they are inches away from. Right. They're standing beside their car. They're standing behind their car, not really doing anything, just waiting. And that's not safe.
Right.
But this law is going to offer a little bit more protection for those folks, because if you've ever been stranded on the side of the road, It's scary.
Well, sure.
You're already having a bad day because something's wrong with your car.
Well, when an 80,000-pound truck goes by you at 70 miles an hour and rocks your car, that is a scary, scary thing. So absolutely.
So look for, I can think historically the Indiana State Police will offer an educational time on this where we'll be pulling folks over to remind them of the law.
Yes.
But most of those interactions will result in a warning for a small period of time. But it comes time point where that education period is over. People should know about the law, and it'll be time to start issuing those citations for those safety violations.
Right. So if you're listening to this, just remind your friends and loved ones that, again, this new addition to a current law is going into effect. So if you see any vehicle on the side of the road, give them room if you can. If not, you need to slow down.
And it's not a new law, but something else that we're seeing on the roadway that is becoming far too common is an increase in these road rage encounters. Yeah. The emergency calls that we're getting for road rage incidents has increased significantly in recent years. But even more concerning is the amount of those calls that now include somebody pointing or displaying a firearm.
Right.
And our advice, it's illegal, it's dangerous. We are arresting people. Just last night, we arrested somebody that was involved in a road rage that displayed a firearm.
Right.
It's a felony intimidation charge. Yeah. But our simple advice is this: don't engage.
Right.
Don't engage. Right. Don't be the aggressor. If somebody is trying to get you to engage in road rage, don't.
Yeah.
It's simple, right? Go, move over, slow down, exit, get away from the situation. Take a deep breath. I don't know how we got there, but it really is scary to see the amount of people that are angry and they want to use their vehicle as a weapon in that time.
Right. And not only the vehicle, but going back to the firearm display. I mean, we've also seen where they're doing it even though they may have other people in their own vehicle. So not only are they putting themselves in, they're putting a multitude of people in danger, and it's creating a significant hazard on the roadways that are already hazardous with the plethora of traffic. People are otherwise aggressively driving and doing those things that we're out there trying to enforce each and every day. So, and I think irrespective of what your thoughts are on gun violence and things of this nature, this is still another facet of gun violence that I think kind of gets underlooked, or undercovered by the media at times.
Sure. And, sometimes it starts by somebody making a mistake. None of us are perfect drivers, right? We have all made a mistake while driving. We've all found ourselves in the wrong lane that we need to be in, or that lane ends and we're trying to merge, and people get angry. Yep. People have a right to choose what speed they want to drive, whether that's over the speed limit or at the speed limit or slightly below. Driving, tailgating them and honking your horn and giving hand gestures to somebody that's not doing what you want them to do is not the answer.
No, it's not.
The answer is take a deep breath, back off a little bit, and get to your destination safely without any issues.
Right. Like you said, I don't know how we got here, but we need to somehow work our way out of it. Yeah. And so I think it's going to take each and every one of us to do our part in doing that. So
and historically, a horn honk, a hand gesture, back and forth was it. But we're seeing more and more of these lead to violent encounters.
For sure. Right.
And so shifting gears from that, we talked about the new law, the road rage, but it's also a good time for celebrations. A lot of family gatherings, people boating, people going to community events, 4th of July fireworks, at-home fireworks show have become so popular. I mean, when you and I were kids, people didn't have the fireworks shows in their backyard that they do now. But with that comes a lot of things that you got to be thinking about safety-wise.
Yep. Especially right now, the one thing that I think about is the drought conditions that we have. The grass is dry, dry fields, dry trees, and now we're launching, explosive items into the air that, are raining down, embers that can easily trigger something to catch on fire. Your roof, your backyard, something along those lines. Plus, these things are so very hot, and we see people getting burned all the time. Yeah.
These Chinese lanterns are really popular right now. Yeah. But you're sending an uncontrolled fire into the sky. Yep. And you have no idea where it's going to come down.
Nope. It's not remote controlled. It's not a drone. It's going to go where the wind takes it. Sparklers. Yeah, sparklers are still a favorite, but again, we're putting something that is at hundreds of degrees that's burning into our bare hands.
Yeah, and then maybe leaving it on the ground for somebody who's barefoot to step on.
Right, exactly. Or again, maybe catching something on fire.
Yeah, so it takes being responsible. Yeah. It comes down to responsibility. Yep. If you are going to do your own fireworks, safe location, right? Bucket of water, garden hose. And make sure that you're following the instructions on the packaging.
Right.
The mortar rounds that people shoot out of the tubes, you have to use the tube that comes with that.
Right.
If it doesn't fit just right, it's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
I've seen that firsthand. My good friend Mike Pruitt almost blew up a news reporter one morning trying to demonstrate something. Nobody got hurt,
right.
But it was a demonstration of don't put the wrong mortar in the wrong tube. It goes bad.
I knew somebody that had put one of those on a unstable base in his backyard, and as it was getting ready, the fuse was either a gust of wind or it was just, again, unstable. It tipped over and the mortar hit him in the chest. Didn't go off because of the distance, but it still hit him in the chest.
Yeah, and that's quite an impact.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it woke him up for sure.
Yeah. So again, if you're going to have your own backyard fireworks show, do it safe.
Right.
Think about safety. I mean, we all want to enjoy it, right? But nobody wants to
enjoy a trip to the ER.
Every year, the fire department responds to fires and injuries that are fireworks related.
You know, to that, you know, again, we're going to be traveling. This is one of the heaviest travel weekends of the year.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be traveling, you know, and again, it's probably sound like a broken record. If you're going to be celebrating with alcohol, which a lot of people will be, there's no reason in this day and age. I get there's some areas that it's not available, but again, the driving service, whether it's Uber or Lyft or what have you, taxis, buses, or this old school method of transportation called a designated driver.
Yes. Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibility, accountability. I mean, come on. So don't put yourself in a position where you could put someone else's life in danger.
I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it again. If you are consuming alcohol and you ever get to the point where you're asking yourself, do I think I'm okay to drive or not? The answer is no.
Yeah, right.
If you're at that point where you're not sure, 100% sure, always err on the side of caution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people always ask, I wonder what it takes to get me to a point 08. You know, I think I could drink like 4 beers and be there. Well, I can't answer that for you because I don't know.
Yep.
But if you're asking yourself, the answer is no.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so you're right. And again, all these things we talk about comes down to responsibility, accountability, being safe, and it's all preventable.
Right.
You know, last year the Indiana State Police arrested over 3,000 drunk drivers in the state. Every single one of those encounters is preventable. Nobody forces that to happen.
That's right.
And unfortunately, we see the tragic aftermath of those decisions.
Yeah. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So again, you know, like you always end your segments here, you know, buckle up. It is the law in all seating positions, all vehicles. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
Cell phones out of your hands unless you're calling 911. That's the only exception.
Yeah, and pack your patience. I mean, just know there's going to be traffic. Know there's going to be lines. Know that it's going to be busy. Just plan for that so that you're not in a hurry and you're not racing and you're not driving
There's
fast.
still construction. It's prevalent, so know that. No matter where you go, you're going to see an orange cone somewhere.
Speaking of construction, the big thing we're talking and hearing about now is this zipper merge. And this isn't a new concept.
Nope, it's not.
But time and time again, the most horrific crashes that we often see are when a large tractor trailer runs in the back of stopped traffic. And oftentimes that traffic stopped because of a merge. But if people would just be patient and spread themselves out and allow people to merge every other car at the merge point, people would zip right through these zones and it wouldn't even slow them down. Yeah. So keep that in mind, that you don't have to not let that person merge because they ignored the signs. All that's doing is creating more traffic and more danger.
Right. And don't get mad. It's kind of going back to the whole road rage thing. You know, again, that's part of sharing the roadway.
And it's almost a natural thing. Like I've been waiting in this traffic and here comes this car up this wide open lane and you're thinking, well, I've been waiting. They should have to wait too. It's not your job to slow them down. Actually, it's safer if we can use both lanes to merge together.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
And so again, it's all in the name of safety. Yep. We're not here to talk about our pet peeves. We're here to talk about keeping people safe.
Right. Right.
And so it all comes down to, if you're driving a vehicle, obeying the law, the speed limits. Tailgating is a big cause of crashes that we see. Distracted driving. Yes. Not just phones. There's other distractions, but any distracted driving is dangerous. Drunk driving. Right. All these are choices that people make. Yeah.
If we all just drove like everyone was somebody that we knew and loved out there, I think we'd be in a much better place. So just do your part. That's all you can do, is do your part. Yeah. You control what's in your 3-foot world. You know,
that's right.
Can't
and be a courteous driver.
For sure.
You know, understand that at some point you've been in that wrong lane.
Yes.
and you needed to merge.
Yep.
Let them merge,
right.
and you all can get to where you're going safely.
Absolutely.
Captain, thank you. I hope you have a happy 4th of July.
Likewise, and again, congratulations on your 20th anniversary.
Thank you, and I hope everybody has a safe 4th of July. Indiana State Police is not taking the day off. We will have troopers out patrolling, actually enhancing our patrols a little bit. So, all in the name to keep everybody safe, and that's exactly what we hope happens. Everybody have a safe and happy 4th of July. Buckle your seatbelt, and we will see you next time.